Hello, Hazard from Hazard Reviews here, and let's get today's review started. It's fair to say that Disney's 100th anniversary last year wasn't that good, both in terms of reception from the critics and in terms of the reception from their fans of their output. He had some successes, the majority of them were failures. However, I would argue personally that their 90th anniversary in 2013 was a worse year. I mean, sure, once again they had some successes, which includes probably one of their best films they ever made in Saving Mr. Banks. But they also released a lot of duds that were, well, pretty well, you know, well, how can I explain it? I mean, first off, they released perhaps one of their most hated movies from the moment it was announced in The Lone Ranger, a prequel no one even asked for from Pixar in Monsters University. Perhaps their beginning of their ownership of Marvel Studios produced two of their most divisive films in Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World, which resulted in one of their worst year, uh, the MCU's worst year of releases at the time. I said at the time, although actually there's another similarity between the 90th and 100th year anniversary in regards to Marvel Studios' output. Thank goodness Guardians 3 saved them a bit. And then And they released perhaps the most overrated film in history that I still don't know why they still continue to hate to this day. Look, I'll review Frozen at some point, but look, I'm just going to be honest. I still don't like that movie, and I haven't even seen the sequel. Jeez. That's how much I hate the first film. But that is not what we're reviewing, because what I consider to be their worst film to come out in 2013 and perhaps their studio entirely is without a doubt their biggest cash grab in history. I am, of course, talking about the spin off to Cars, or Pixar's Cars franchise, Planes. Now, as you I'm sure of a lot know, Cars franchise is one of Pixar's most popular creations, releasing, ton- tons of merchandise, in particular toys. So Disney wants a cash grab on it by creating a spin-off franchise set around planes. And because Pixar was busy on other projects, they instead enlisted the had Disney Toon Studios, then known for once known as the the studio that produced all the Disney straight-to-video sequels, some of their theatrical films based on Winnie the Pooh and their TV series, and at the time the Tinkerbell series, to make the film. Originally set to be straight to video, but when John Lasseter saw a screening of it, he demanded it get released in theaters because he thought the flying scenes were good enough for cinema quality, which I guess you can say he was right, but oh, there's so much to talk about with how this movie is wrong. And let's get started with it. So, our story involves a crop duster named Dusty. He has a dream of he's starting to get bored of doing the same thing over and over, as his ambition is to be a famous racer of a plane race that goes all around the world. Gosh, where have I heard that before? Look, is racing always going to be the main find its way as a premise in a cars film? Just saying, like yeah, ugh. Yeah. So he dreams of being a famous racing plane that goes around the world. However, his biggest issue is that he's afraid of heights. You heard that right. A plane is afraid of heights. Why? That makes no sense. I mean, okay, crop dusters are planes that fly very low. Okay. But there had to be a better way of explaining why he doesn't fly high. I mean, the sequel did explain things. Oh no! I'm not gonna go over that. It's a different story, but we'll wait till the end. But yeah, I mean, blaming afraid of heights is not a good idea. Seriously. to achieve his dreams, he finds a retired old warfighter plane known as Skipper, who is a bit of a grouch but has a heart of gold, and and requests that he mentors him in order to learn how to fly super fast, you know, get over his fear of heights, and become better, you know, more confident, be able to race. And he begins to respect him, and he tells and he has a tragic past as to why he gave up flying, and I mean this character. We'll get to the past, the backstory later. Oh, geez, I'm gonna go overboard with that. And Dusty eventually does become part of the race, and at first he's ridiculed, especially by the main villain, who's a bit of a bully, voiced by Roger Craig Smith. Apparently, I was quite surprised he got cast, but maybe that was just because it was originally meant to be straight to video. But eventually, he wins the respect of many of the races, and he starts to begin and gain a cult following. All while the villain is determined to put a kibosh on him because he's a crop duster and shouldn't be racing the big leagues. Especially, he gets better and better as we go along. So will he win the race? Then just strut up the villain. Oh, you can guess where this is going. You know what's going to happen. Anyone who knows cars knows what's going to happen. Bar the ending. The ending's different. In fact, actually, I think Cars 3 actually ripped off the ending a bit with this, sort of. But, yeah, let's just go. The whole similarities with Cars is one of the main things in it. As I said, the race is the main goal of the story. The villain is a jerk and ridicules you know, the main character more. Though to be fair, in Cars 1, Chick Hicks wasn't really in it that much. The the mentor is an old, is an old, is an old man s character who has a past, and it mentors him, and and can be a bit of a grouch at times against all the Cars. Cars 1, because now I think about it, Michael Caine's character in Cars 2 wasn't quite like that, but he was a mentor at the very least. Actually, well, he was great, so great car, so great plane, or whatever. You get what I mean? The It's not this. He gets remodeled at one scene, yada yada yada. Uh, the difference is that Dusty isn't exactly like Lightning McQueen, but he's very boring, and he's bland. And as I said, the fact that he's a plane that's afraid of heights just doesn't is such a stupid idea. I can't accept it. It's just dumb. But even all that, the other characters are all just bland anyway. Like his friends from where he's from are just bland, and they're basic Cars characters. Um, the mentor is the mentor, is whatever. The main friend that he meets, which is in the race, who supports him, the Spanish flank, I think. Maybe it's Italian, I don't know, but I think he's mixed. I think he's Mexican or whatever. Well, he is insufferable, even more so than Mater can be at times in the Cars films. This plane is absolutely insufferable to listen to. I'm sure a lot of people agree that he's one of the most annoying characters, the most annoying character in this movie by far. Big shot. As I said, I don't like the villains. His henchmen are, ugh, jeez. Like when they try to add new things in this that's different from Cars, it fails, and you get more and more furious the more they either rip off stuff or create new things. They're just flat out boring, stupid, and ugh, ugh. The whole story's boring, whatever. The characters, ugh. So I'll get to the. And you can guess that this is going to involve the liar reveal cliche. Oh, let's just get on with it. I just should just get on with it right now. The liar reveal is one of my least favorite cliches in films, and this film uses it big time. And what I don't think it's the worst, or I don't think it's the worst in any in the worst one in other Disney or Pixar films. They've done a lot worse. There's been a lot worse at times using this cliche. That I'm saying. But the one thing, and okay, once we find out, once the character learns about the lie, he doesn't immediately, you know, pull out to him. He has to. It's later. But what it does lead to are two things that really put a dent, that really bring this movie down further. I'm being honest. First off, the fact that the lie got told to him at a point where he was damaged and wasn't quote unquote in the best health or mechanically operative as planes go or whatever. He almost dies because he found out that that his friend lied to him. That's one thing. The second is when we get the reveal as to why what was the original truth. When you hear the title Planes, Disney's spin-off film of Cars, you expect just being lighthearted, you know. And for most of it, it's not taken seriously. Yeah, yeah. When we get to the truth, this film turns into Mortal Kombat. That's the best way I can describe it. Like the actual scene of when we find out, because the liar is the mentor, the skipper. The lie is that they told Dusty he flew multiple missions, when in reality he only flew one. That one mission and the flashback we get of it is so gruesome and dark. Like it's total whiplash. You don't expect this. It's just carnage, plain graveyard. I would have been be surprised if that was if all the planes that got destroyed and killed in that scene were all the ones that were shown at the end of when Hayao Miyazaki's The Wind Rises. That's it would make sense. I mean, John is close friends to Hayao Miyazaki, but whatever. Just the whole time that scene, and after that, I was just like, this this is planes, goddamn planes. I'm being honest. It just that whole scene, all you like is just planes, goddamn planes, and Mortal Kombat. I hate it. I hate the lie reveal. And what I don't think it's the worst I've ever seen, but it is pretty high on the list, I will tell you that. The repercussions and the actual reveal of what the truth is gets this into infuriating mode. But moving on. The animation is boring, and yeah, the flying scenes I can whatever. Like, okay, maybe they could work in on cinemas and in 3D, but seriously, it's still a downgrade from what Pixar accomplished with the Cars franchise. I'm being honest. Like, just look at it. At least, I mean, they keep the. I mean, this does at the very least look like it fits in the Cars universe, but that's the best I can describe it. It should just stay straight to video. But now, and I hate the way the villain is defeated. Okay, this villain is a showboat pony. He basically just shows off every single time. So the villain that out. So our hero, you know, you know, basically interrupts him in his showboating to defeat him in the race. Even then, I'm just even the way he's left at the end of it, I'm just like, oh, just a joke. I I hate I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. The even going around the world, it just doesn't look good. It's just boring. The every racer in this is boring. Every character is dumb. It's just you're tired watching it. It just gets so infuriating, boring. It's just one of the most lackluster things you could ever come up with. But above all, the worst thing about it is it's obviously a cash grab. Just from the beginning, you can tell this is a cash grab. They know they had something with the merchandise of cars. Why wouldn't they want to cash in on Disney on their own without Pixar? They put it in the same universe and they just use it to make more toys. That's all it is. That's the reason why they made it. That's the reason why the story is. It's just a damn cash grab. And you will never stop thinking about it as you watch this movie. I'm being honest. 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 They waste so much talent. Now, look, I'm saying in this, and look, I'm not just saying the obvious. Like, okay, but even the voice cast feels wasted. Like, I've already mentioned Roger Craig Smith. Maybe they just brought him in because they just got him for that scene in Wreck-It Ralph 1, and then they thought, well, after he, playing that one scene of him as Sonic, and then they brought him in for this, for a larger role. But even the fact they got cameos from John Cleese and Val Kilmer in this movie. I even, God, why are they here? Come on. Just to play these races, I don't care. They throw and then you got, I mean, I don't know. And then, even Disney regulars like Brad Garrett, it just feels like I don't care if he's in it. Whatever. He's he's just there, wasted. There's no reason. I mean, maybe maybe Dusty's actor. I think Dan Cook. I think his name is. He is okay, I guess, but I don't care. That's the thing. You don't care watching this. It's nothing. Nothing special about this. It's just a plain, stupid, boring, average, below average, bad kids movie that's just a cash grab of an already popular franchise. That's all it is. And I can never look past it. Even from the very beginning, I first heard about this. I think the other thing I want to address is okay, if this is a spin off of the Cars franchise, it's set in the same world. I want to see some characters from the Cars films in this film, and they don't do it. They also don't do it with the sequel that got released in theaters only 9 months later. No, no. Okay, well, I will say this: Fire Rescue isn't actually, you know, well, it's not good, but it's actually better than this. It's some originality to it. Yeah, well, one day I'll talk to her about it, but I'm not doing it today. But look, if you are to ask me, still, look, I don't like Disney's 100th anniversary was not a good year. Their 90th anniversary 10 years ago was, well, 11 or whatever. But what I mean, 10 years prior, their 90th anniversary was worse in my view. A lot of it stemming from this movie. And this is easy for me to say. It's a 0 out of 10 has stars. And by far, one of the worst movie experiences I've ever had. One of the worst films I've ever seen from Disney? Absolutely. One of the worst movies I've ever seen? By far. I'm being honest, like, I can't stand this movie. And it hasn't, and it's only getting worse every year. I, I think at the very least, the one thing I am grateful for is when I see a bad movie and then a good movie comes out later that I watch, I really appreciate it more. And, well, I bel thankfully, I think, okay, I already said so before. I didn't like Frozen, so I'm back at this and Frozen. When Saving Mr. Banks came out later. I just loved it completely, and I still do, even considering the obvious creativity is taken with the ending of that film. But yeah, that's another story. But don't watch Planes. Don't watch it. You could probably watch Cars 2 again if you really want to. Yeah, I honestly don't hate Cars 2, but I hate this. This was the film that drew the line for me with the Cars franchise. Like, if you're gonna watch any of these films, as I said, maybe watch Fire and Rescue if you really wanted to, but I don't care. I'll give it its attention at some point, but don't watch this. Don't watch it. It's bad. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's boring. It's cash grab, and that's all I gotta say. I know I'm not done with Disney reviews yet. In fact, I actually got a. I think my next review has to be. I will review Echo next. I've got some things to say about that, don't I? Well, I'm trying to work out what I have to say about it because my feelings of that show was actually I still don't know what to think of Echo. Hopefully, by the time I do my review, I'll have a definitive answer. But for now, Hazard from Hazard is out. Take care. Ciao. And don't watch Planes. See you around.